a program that looks or goes down memory lane of Presec sports. What made Presec sports awesome? How some awesome personalities were built in various different disciplines and made sports in Presec stand tall in secondary cycle sports competitions back in the day. The tradition still goes on, and Presec is still a giant when it comes to sports. Today, we want to have a look at the current state of affairs of sports in our school and generally sports education in Ghana and its general impact on the fortune of sports in second cycle institutions. But before we begin, as usual, we want to say a very, very special ayiko to all Odadee sporting heroes of yesteryear and to all Odadeers who formed the cheer group. Those of you who didn't do sports, but we were cheerleaders. You are the reason why we are doing this program. So my question of the day: who was your favorite sports hero of all time in Presec, and what event did they do, or what event did you most admire to see them do? Please send your response right away. You can send your questions and comments ahead of time on our WhatsApp number on 02000 92925 or our social media handles. We are looking at Twitter, formerly X, at Odadee Radio, Instagram at Odadee Radio, and Facebook at Odadee Radio Ghana. My guest for today is the main man in charge of Presec Sports. He's the head of Physical Education Unit of Presec Boys Secondary School. He joined Presec Legon staff permanently in September 2010 and did after a one-year internship program in the school in 2009. Right? Yeah. Yes. He holds a bachelor's degree in physical education from the University of Education, Winneba. Before furthering his education at University of Education at Winneba, he had taught for 8 years at the St. Peter's Anglican Primary School in Begro, near my hometown, Osino.
That's right.
After a successful 3-year teacher training at SDE College of Education, Asokori, Florida in 1998. While in Begro, he was one of the sports teachers in the school. He later became the sports coordinator of the Begro zone. He's an old student of Florida Sectech, my old rival school. He tells me that over the years in Presec, the school has chalked some successes in sports, athletics, basketball, table tennis, football, handball specifically, and he'll be telling us more about this later on in the program. He's married with 2 children. My guest is Mr. Nathaniel Mate Buchi. You are warmly welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for accepting our invitation.
You're welcome.
Yes. So today, this program will mainly look at the current state of sports in Presec. However, in this first part, we will look at our guest's background, his role as the sports teacher, policy guidelines to physical education, the school sporting activities, and so on. So let's quickly dive into it.
All right, sir.
Yes. Can you briefly tell us about yourself, your background, the school you attended, family background, etc., and how your interest in sports all started?
All right. So as you rightly introduced me, let me greet your listeners, yes, or our listeners.
All over the globe.
All over the globe, yes. And I hope all is well with us. Yes. I must say that growing up, I wasn't a sports person because of my physique. Okay. I was that tiny. And so going into sports, people will not give you that chance. So I can't say me son. Yeah. So after training college, I was posted to Begro to teach in the primary school. And over there, that is where the sports thing started. So I was in charge of netball. Yes, okay. Netball. That was where my interest was. So then through that, I became the zonal organizer. Then rose to become the district organizer, helping the district sports coordinator in the organization of sports in the district. Then with that, I worked for 8 years. Then I decided to further my education. And even that one, it was a bit difficult because I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go to into sports. I wanted to do something else that would take me out of the classroom.
Okay.
So I tried once, twice, all I failed. So the third one, then the sports coordinator at the district, Mr. Niamadonko, advised that, why don't you go to Winneba and then do sports? Because already you are in the sports. And so that is a good idea. So that year, that was 2006, I went and then wrote the entrance exams, matured, and I qualified. Okay. So I went into the University of Education for 4 years, and then during the last year, the fourth year, before the fourth year, you have to go out and do 1 year internship.
Okay.
So a friend introduced Presec to me. So that year we were 4 that came to Presec. We met Boy Bedu and then Kofuri. Okay. And we worked. That very year we worked. We worked for inter-school, and we did our best. I was in charge of handball. Okay. The others also took the other disciplines, and we did our best. I remember handball, we were third. At the time, Achimota beat us. So Achimota went to the finals.
Don't say it loudly. Don't say it loudly. Don't say it loudly. but we'll come to some of the competitions that you have experienced. Yeah. But what was your training like in Winneba?
In Winneba, we are trained in all fields, because you'll be going to a school, and sometimes you'll be one only person in the school, so you have to handle all the teams. So we are trained across. Okay. But my area was in handball. Okay. That was where my interest was. So I developed much into handball. So when I came here, that was what I've been handling so far. Yeah.
But SecTech is also a very good school in sports, because I went to sixth form in Ghana, and they were one of the top schools. I mean, it was hard to beat them in anything.
Yes.
Whether it was football, athletics, whatever.
And everything. Yeah.
They were very tough.
Yeah.
Tough enough to crack.
Yes.
So when you were there, you didn't do any sports?
Not at all.
Hey.
As I am telling you, the body size, and also the background where I was coming from. By then, my father wasn't with us. He was far away, and it was only my mom. Okay. And so he will tell you, when you go and you play and you get injured, you will lie down and die. So that alone
put you off.
Put me off. Yeah. In order not to get injured and all that. So I didn't go into...
Yeah, but there are some sports you don't do because it's very, very physical. But you could be doing long distance. I mean, usually long distance runners are short, small people. You don't get a tall people doing it that much. And other games,
Yeah.
But what was your training like at the university?
At the university.
As you were being prepared as a coach.
Okay.
What was the training like? Because I remember Bob Badu was telling us about how you have to maybe run around the field, do certain things,
Yes. At Winneba, in fact, we are not trained as coaches.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. There's a difference between coaching and teaching physical education.
They are not purely...
Yes.
Okay, because I'll come and ask you that question. The difference between physical education...
Yes, they are not the same.
Okay.
So, we are taught to teach. We are taught to teach. So we teach physical education. But in physical education, we have bits of coaching.
Like instructors?
Yes. Okay. So we have bit of coaching in it. And so that is what we use when we come to the schools. Okay. And as you look at it, every school should have had a coach or coaches. So that those of us who are trained from Winneba will concentrate on the teaching
aspect of it.
Okay. So that the coaches will handle the teams. Okay. But it's all about government's ability to recruit and pay. So if there is someone there who can teach and then also manage to coach these little ones, then why not allow them to do that?
Okay, then you throw some light on what physical education, which we call PE then, and what like sports education? Well, I mean, is there a correlation? There must be a correlation, but what's the difference?
All right. So when we talk about PE, PE is for all.
Okay.
It's about physical activities that is structured to bring and to promote health.
Okay.
Okay. So that is physical. So we teach through the physicals, doing it.
Okay.
And as you do that, it helps the body in health. So you gain some skills, you gain some values, and that will help you grow well and live well, as in your well-being. And then when you come to sports, sports is not for everybody. Sports is for selected, the skillful. So in a way, you can say that sports is discriminatory.
Yes. It's for competition.
It's competition.
Yes.
So sports is competition. So sports is an aspect of physical education.
Okay.
So that is the difference.
All right. I get it. So you teach physical education.
Yes.
So in Presec, you teach in the class before you go to the field.
Okay, so here physical education is both theory and practical.
Practicals.
Practical 70%, theory 30%.
Okay.
And so we teach in the classroom and then also come to the field and do the practical aspect. But we spend more time on the practical because it's supposed to be physical activity. 70% of the duration should be practical.
What are some of the teaching methods do you use now? Because I know there are other places where they use videos to show performances and techniques, especially when it comes to professional athletes and stuff. But how do you teach it here?
Okay, here we don't have those technologies and then those facilities. Like you're saying, we should have a gym. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a gym is an indoor open space, so where you can maybe project an athlete training, an athlete running, a player playing, kicking, and all that. But we don't have that. So in the practical class, you need to demonstrate some of these skills, and the children that come, they are not empty. They are not empty. So you might get one or two who already know the skill that you want to teach. So you bring them in, and then they help in teaching their peers. You put them into groups and other stuff so that you could have a successful class.
Okay.
So more of demonstration, and it is child-centered. You let them do it.
Okay.
And in PE, you are not looking for perfection. You are not
participation.
looking participation.
Okay.
So they run, they jump, they do all that, they sweat, and then they are
Do you have any teaching aids?
Yes, we have, but I would say they are inadequate. Yes,
Minimal.
yeah, inadequate.
And how many students would you have, say, like in a session or in a class?
All right.
Session?
So it depends on the department. If you are dealing with the science department, then you are talking about 60
in a class.
Okay. 60, let's say averagely 55. Okay. If you are dealing with the arts, it's almost same number. Business a little bit down. Visual arts lower. Yeah.
And what times did they? Well, I remember a time we used to do maybe something like the first 2 periods. You go and do something. You know, or maybe before you go and have your breakfast, you do something.
Okay. So looking at our numbers here, before coming to the studio, I just closed from a class that is around last period, 2:30 to 3:30, under this hot sun. Yes. So that is the numbers, and so we cannot have all our periods in the morning. So it is spread across, so that other subjects also would.
And what's the typical class like? So let's say you, as you are saying, it's like physical activity. So what would a typical class do?
A typical class, we have routines. Immediately they come and we meet them for the first time. We spell out, we discuss the routines, and then so they know. You come, if the first meeting, if you are introducing a skill for the first time, we discuss about that discipline. Let's say handball. So our first meeting, we look at the theory aspect. So the history behind handball, the rules and dimensions and everything. We talk about that one. If we have more time, because a period is just 1 hour.
Yeah.
So if you have extra time, we warm up. At least they should feel of coming. So after that one, then our next meeting, we introduce the skill. Within the first meeting, we introduce the skill, demonstrate it, let them know how it is done. Then when they come, then we enter into the game, the practical class itself. So the practical class, we start with a general warm-up, then we move into specific warm-up. Then from there, we do a little stretching, then we start introducing the skill bit by bit.
Okay, so I was asking you, about whether there are certain tests that are done before the kids are asked to do any physical activity. Or some people could be asthmatic. Some people are a little disabled. Do you make room for all those sort of?
Yes. Fortunately, when the first years come, I think a medical facility has this thing with the school that they come to.
So then I go a physical exam.
A physical examination,
Okay.
they do that.
Okay.
Then also, during the orientation, the department is invited, so we inform them. If you have any medical condition,
Should let you know.
let us know. Bring documents. Let us know so that we prepare for you.
Okay.
So we do consider all that, and we don't discriminate whether you are physically challenged or
not.
P is for all. So whatever will let you do to feel part of the class, will let you do. If you're asthmatic and you cannot, practice in the dust and those things, of course, you can take records for us. You can officiate.
Okay.
So we involve everybody.
Okay. Because I know at time there were some of my classmates were very lazy, and they ran away from any physical activity and would come with all sorts of excuses.
Excuses, yes.
So when you do the physical exam, at least you know right from day one who can and who can't. Right. Let's talk a little bit about the management of your sports department.
All right.
Okay. So how do you manage your sports department? Can you just throw some light on it? First of all, what is it made? How many officers or teachers or assistants do you have in there? And then,
all right. So the department is under science.
Okay.
So it's a unit under the science department. Okay. And currently we are 5 in the department, 4 male teachers and then 1 female teacher.
Is it adequate?
Looking at the number, it is not. But
give us an idea of the numbers, because that then throws the thing in the proper perspective.
Yes.
What is the student population? Who are you dealing with?
Okay. So our subject is a core subject. Okay. So it means that all year groups, apart from the Form 3s, that we've given the time for them to prepare for the WASI. Okay. So the Form 1s and then the Form 2s, all are involved. And so if you look at the population of the student, per GES, a teacher is supposed to take care of about 500 students. So if you look at that and you look at the numbers that we have, you realize that
what numbers do you have? That's what I want to know. A rough idea.
Rough idea, we have around 4,000.
4,000, okay. Wow.
And this 4,000, 5 teachers.
Okay. So a student, every teacher is dealing close to about 1,000. Yes. That's a lot.
And the system that we are running now, we have 2 of our teachers who handle the Form 2, and then 3 handle the Form 1s at the moment.
Okay.
So Well, if we could get additional 2, it will help
Okay.
to ease the burden, the pressure.
So this might sound like a little controversial, but do you think our PE tutors or teachers in our second cycle schools are well prepared to handle how we introduce students to physical education and help them to be able to compete as we have all these competitions that we participate in and do it properly? Because you mentioned that we don't have coaches.
Yes.
So it's the same PE tutors that have become pseudo coaches and are training some of these are people we've selected to go and participate and compete for the school.
Yeah. So I will say yes and then no. Yes and no because we have some of the PE personnel who already are into various kinds of sports that they do it. So with that transfer of knowledge, you'll be able to handle. There are others too, like me, for instance. I did not play any sports that high, but the interest to learn and to seek information is helping. And so there are some who may not be up to that level to bring up these raw talents, okay, to that appreciable level. So it is work. It is work. In some places, yes, it works. Like we are 5, and so we have looked at where our strengths are and shared the various disciplines for us to handle, to make it easier for us.
So that's the yes part. Where's the no part?
The no part is where the person, one, is not ready to learn. 2, his background in sports is limited. So such a person, as PE teacher, will not find it easy bringing up these ones. So that is the no aspect of it.
Okay.
You after school, after the training, we are also exposed to further training.
Okay.
Further training.
Because I was going to ask if you had like top-up programs for you
Yes.
to become coaches or the modern trends of
Yes.
instructing students. And
Yes.
stuff.
So
you know that how you actually teach that young student can be a demotivation or actually even disinterest for them
exactly
at
so.
all, because they might be doing it and it's too difficult. But meanwhile, they do a better and easier technique.
Technique.
Okay,
to
like I,
use.
for example, ran flat-footed as a sprinter and didn't know this until I got to sixth form.
Okay.
And can you imagine, I was competing.
Yeah.
So it took the headmaster at the time, who pointed to me that you are running flat-footed. A sprinter, you should be running on your toes.
Yes.
And all this while nobody had told me that.
You are not wrong. Just last week, I officiated at the University of Ghana Inter-Hall Athletics, and there were some athletes who were running flat-foot.
Yes.
Okay, so it depends on the individual teacher, what the content knowledge of the teacher will play a role. So if that teacher went through the training, just passing through, just passing through, definitely that person too will come out and also pass the students through. So it depends on the individual and the kind of training the person had. Currently, we have University of Cape Coast, University of Education, and then in recent times, University of Ghana, training PE personnel.
Okay. So there are some top-up courses you can go and do.
Yeah, there are top-up courses that you can do, and then also after you can go for the master's program That one is there.
Okay.
Then you can branch into coaching.
Okay.
So we have this Premier League coaches and other coaches around. Majority of them are PE teachers.
Okay.
You can talk of retired Coach Sapon, Fabin, and there are many.
Okay.
There are many who have PE background.
That's interesting. But generally, how do you see, presently, our approach in sports in our schools? Do you think we're on the right trajectory? Is it a little different from how we used to do it back in the day?
Yes. Currently, the state of school sports is a bit low. Okay. A bit low. You know, sports cannot thrive without money. And
the luxury of time also.
Yes. But even those days, there was no time, but you could make time. I've heard stories where over here people could train in the night at dawn and all that. So
I say time also because you see we had like 1 to 5.
Okay.
And 6 form. Now they just do 3 years. Also now they have track system where some come, some go. So
yeah, it's affecting.
How has this tight academic calendar affected the sports?
It's affecting the sports both in quality terms. Where we had a 5-year secondary school, so Form 1, you start and then you build up. So by the time you get to Form 5, you get to 6th form, you are so experienced in the field. Then we had the 4-year SS. That one also helped. So you start grooming them from Form 1. By the time they get to the 4th year, they are blown.
Okay.
Then you could see the quality in sports. But this time we have 3 years. And the 3 years, you have at a point in time 2-year groups in school. So even if you groom the Form 1s like this, they will have to go home. The Form 2s will come. We start with them. Then they will break and go. Then the Form 1s will come. You continue with them. It makes the work a bit difficult. And we do not get the quality too. So it's affecting sports.
But what is is there like a program policy for sports in every school? Maybe like from GES, do you have a?
Yeah, for GES, it's mandatory that every school participates in sports, or we make sports available to every student. Okay. One governor, Gordon Gottisberg, in his 16 principles of education, had 3 principles for physical education. That one, every school should have a playing field. Before a school will be approved to run, they should have a playing field. Then the school must make sports as part of their program. Okay. And so there's a GES policy for sports. And as we go for the inter-school and all that is part of the policy. So we start from inter-class, then we go to inter-house, then we go to zonal level, then we go to super zonal, then we go for national festival to get the talents. Okay. There is a gap for me. I see there is a gap between the second cycle and then the tertiary when it comes to sports. Or let me put it this way, the gap is outside the tertiary. So if from secondary school you do sports and you don't get into the tertiary level, where do you go? Previously, the security services will come for you. But now we can say that recruitment it's not easy. And so that group, that bracket, where do they go? How are they managed? How do they continue with their sports? And that is where the National Sports Authority would have to come in. But for me, for some time now, I think there has been a break or some form of, there's no an intentional program to absorb such people. And so
talents are just wasting away.
wasting away.
But the schools themselves, do they have a policy to how they manage sports and their facilities? Do they have a policy?
Yes, every school and their policy. Every school and their policy and how they manage theirs. Over here, we have not had any problem with management. Anytime requested, if the funds are there, they provide.
Okay.
I've worked under 3 heads. I'm currently under the 3rd head.
Okay.
Mr. Africanus, Lady Queenie, and then Mr. Ojija. All these people have been so wonderful, and you could see their passion for sports. So when it comes to sports, they don't play with it.
Okay, so I mean, do you get any sort of financial support from GES, not in terms of for sports specifically?
Okay, so before the free SHS, where students were paying fees and all that, there is that part that we call the capitation. So the fees that are paid, government part is given to the school, and then part is also paid to the zonal to organize zonal competitions. And so what comes to the school, I think it is 1 cedi or so per head by then. So if you have the numbers, you get more money. So what comes to the school, that is what the school used to develop sports, buy equipment and all that in the school. Then the other portion goes to the zonal level, and then the regional level, and then the national level, to also use that part of money to organize. So the free SHS, when it came, it means that government now has absorbed that quota, which government pays to the schools.
It's been said that physical education has a huge role in mental health. It has been found to have a positive impact on the academic performance of students. Do you agree that PE promotes good overall growth in all spheres and has immense, positive impact on our cognitive development?
Exactly. PE plays a very vital role in our development, especially with these young ones who are developing. When you exercise, it gives you good blood circulation. It makes the cells, the tissues, the organs, and the system in the body works. And as a student, you need the brains to study. And so if you have good blood circulation, it makes the brain active. Without exercise, without inactivity, the brain becomes dull because blood circulation becomes poor. And so the brain does not get enough oxygen to function. So the UN Charter for PE says that at least every child should get 60 minutes of physical activity in a week. That is at least 60 minutes. And it goes for everybody. And so when they come like that and then they do physical activity here and there, it helps them. After school, you see them playing, you see them running, you see them do all that. It's a way of helping the body to develop and also develop the brain. So physical education, physical activity is so much crucial to our development, mental health, and our studies.
Because somebody sent something to me and said, exercise has been found to improve cognitive function, attention, memory, and executive function. Regular exercise has also been found to decrease symptoms of anxiety,
Yes.
stress, and depression,
Yes.
and our overall being, which can have a positive effect on academic performance. Thus, physical exercise can contribute to a more conducive learning environment and better academic outcomes for students. Do you think our students are getting enough exercise nowadays?
It's not enough. It's not enough. You see, when you get admission to Presec, much is expected from you. People even outside believe that nobody feels in Presec. Nobody feels in Presec. People believe that. And so there's much pressure on you, and you want to concentrate more on the books.
Okay.
So involving yourself in physical activity becomes something not okay with a group of students. Looking at it, I mean, over here we have created that opportunity for the students to have enough physical activity. And so Saturdays, for instance, in the afternoon, a whole 2 hours is dedicated for sports.
Okay.
So whichever sport that you want to do, you are free to do that. Then again, after school, which of course they are not supposed to, but we still find them
Doing all kinds
of sports. So I would say it's a bit okay here. I know of a school where they don't get that.
Okay.
Theirs is about their books. But when we meet them at the inter school, we beat them. When it comes to academics too, we beat them. Okay. So that is it. I mean, it's a way of allowing the students to express themselves. It is not everybody who can express himself in the books.
Yeah, because some too, when they come, they can't cope with the pressure and the anxiety, depression from being away from their parents. And sports sometimes allows them to, sort of, freedom.
No, they are full of energy.
Yeah.
And so they need to channel the energy.
Yes, boys.
Yes, full of energy.
But is there an advisory school guidance and counseling center for athletes specifically, like in a place like Presec, to help them in how they combine sports and academic work?
Yes. As part of our training, we did a bit of psychology. Then also, the school itself has a counseling unit. And so when we have student athletes who have challenges, we do refer them to such places. And we also monitor some of them, or if not all. It's a core subject, and so almost all of them pass through our hands. And so if they are not doing well, we are able to know and then seek for an intervention for them. Yes.
Wow, it's good, because in our era there wasn't any system like that. Where sportsmen were giving, some form of, I won't say credit, but it's like here you are spending time and some of your steady time doing sports, whilst others are studying. And you are being graded the same way. I find that, it's a little hard. Has this thing changed? Do we have a system how we integrate talented athletes and the academic work at our secondary school level?
At the secondary school level, I would say, well, I don't know of other institutions or other schools, but over here, there is no deliberate policy that if you are an athlete, maybe we should start you from grade C or something. Okay. And so, well, you will do the sports, and then also you have to study at the same time. Make sure you make your grades. If one way or the other you are facing challenges, we talk to them, and they come. We find way of helping. There are some of them that we have to take them off the school team, looking at your performance.
Okay. It's not good enough.
Your primary aim here
is to come in.
Study. So we do advise.
Okay. But I mean, do you have a system where, if you found that somebody had a real talent, and the talent was such that you could say this person can go all the way, do you make a recommendation to, let's say, the sports council or even the school, saying that this person is very good in this, and maybe because he's not doing well academically, we need to give him some special attention, maybe extra classes, or there's nothing like that. Or maybe he can even have the opportunity to resit an exam.
I would say there's nothing like that, but it is the individual that we advise, and sometimes we bring in parents to help. That this your ward is doing well in sports. Maybe the academics is not all that good, so let's make some intervention, some classes. Of course, it does not come free.
Yeah.
So there are some of them that we do recommend that way. Then again, there are some that we are able to identify their talents. For all you know, some they are good generally. Overall, they are good. They are sports boys. But you realize that where they are heading to, the future is not bright.
Okay.
So that one, we look at it and then we advise. Some do take it, others do not. I will give you a typical example. Azamati, for instance. Azamati is a good footballer.
Okay.
But at a point in time, we saw that, looking at football in Ghana, everything is football. Everything is football. And we realized that he had speed. So we told him that, look, if you want to play football in Ghana, the way it is now, whether we like it or not, you need to know somebody. You need to have money before you can get to the top there. But if you go into athletics, you don't need anybody. You don't need to have money. It is the time that you make that will take you there. So we advised him, and he listened.
Okay.
And that very year, inter-house athletics, he won 100 meters, won 200 meters. Went for zonal competition, 100 meters, won 200 meters. Then we went for super zonals, won 200, 100. Okay. Then he joined the regional team. They had a festival at Cape Coast. So they went. Over there, he was fourth, I think third or fourth.
Okay.
That same year, he had admission to University of Ghana.
Okay.
When he got it that very year, he won their 100 meters. Okay. He won their 100 meters. Then, through that, the university level, that was another level. They went to West Africa. Over there, he was beaten. He came back and then increased his training and other things. Went back and then won. Midway into the national team for to all African Games at Rabat, Morocco. And they won gold in the 4x100. So that was it. Then from there, he had a scholarship to the Texas, and look at him now. So there are some that we do recommend, we do advise. Some will take it, some will not take it. There are a lot of them that have gone through that they decided not to pursue sports, but pursue other fields. Yeah.
But as you mentioned right now, scholarship. Do we have sports scholarships at the secondary school level?
It depends on the school.
Presec here, do we?
Presec?
Yeah.
No.
It depends on which schools have it, and then we don't have.
This one, this is about the school and what they want to do.
Okay.
Looking at the Presec and looking at the the number of students or people who want to come to Presec. If you let's take the stakeholders for instance. Look at all the stakeholders, and everyone wants this child to come to Presec. And you look at sports. So we want sports, bring athletes, students who are athletes. We go out to scouts and then bring them in. Yeah, it's a good idea, but the pressure on admissions will not allow that.
Okay.
Will not allow that. I know some schools even open just for your inclusion for people to come and compete, and then the best is selected into the school. Okay. We believe with our numbers, we should be able to get the talent. The talents are here. Just that we need to make time and then train them. Yes.
But as like the sports teacher, are you in a position to monitor the academic progress of your athletes vis-a-vis their athletic performance, and able to nurture them? Are you able to monitor whether this particular athlete that I have, he's doing well in academics or not? Are you able to? Do you have the ability to monitor?
We have the ability to monitor, and it is something that I would say we don't do it to the fullest scale. It depends on few athletes. As a department, as I said, most of them pass through the department, and so we handle them. So we know their strength and their weaknesses, and so if they are able to make into the school teams, we already have their background, and so we get closer to them, and then help. But as a deliberate policy to monitor all of them becomes very difficult. Over here, we have a challenge, which we are also trying to work it out. In your first year, in your second year, if you are not very talented, it becomes very difficult to even come out, because the seniors will tell you that your time will come. They will not even allow you to even compete at the house level. So the deliberate attempt that we've made is that every team that each house will raise, we should have a percentage of genius in the team.
Okay.
Because some of them, you only see them when they get to the third year, and they are almost done. Okay. So that is what we've started. There is another way that we can do it, that when there is inter-house, where we have the junior competition and then we have the senior competition. But we tried it 1 or 2 times and realized that couldn't solve the problem. It was something that, we'll be able to identify them at the junior level and then monitor them as they progress. But to say a junior will break into the senior team becomes very difficult. Because
that's what happened during our time. We came to form, especially in athletics, you come to Form 1, there's a race we all do, but then you do juniors from 1 to Form 3 before you're allowed to join the seniors. If you qualify, from Form 4 to Form 5. Listeners, we've been speaking to our guest, the head of Physical Education Unit of Presec, and so far we've talked about his background, his role as a sports teacher, DES guidelines, physical education and the policies. And so far it's been very interesting, and it's been clear that he's playing an instrumental role in the development of the school. We'll go on a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll come to the second part of the program.
Odadee Radio, Like us on Facebook at Odadee Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Odadee Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 0200
Hallelujah.
Welcome back, listeners. The program is Odadee Sports Digest, and my guest is Mr. Nathaniel Marty Bucci. He's the sports master of the school. In this second part, we turn our attention to specifically the current state of sports in the school, especially how the talent of students are identified and nurtured, trained and prepared, the calendar of the sporting competition in the school with other schools, and so on. You can join the discussion by sending your questions, suggestions, comments to our social media handles: Twitter at Odadee Radio, Instagram at Odadee Radio, Facebook at Odadee Radio Ghana, or join us on WhatsApp on 02000 92 92 5. Mr. Marty,
Yes, sir.
what is sports like today in Presec? Is it still exciting? Is it competitive? Is it healthy? Can you walk us through your calendar, your annual sports calendar, the structure of your programs, that sort of thing?
Yeah. It is still exciting every year, and the excitement that it comes with. Over the years, we've had some houses, the rivalry. You have one or two sprinters coming from different houses, and you could hear the conversation among the students, and this one pushing for that one, and the field deciding who be the fastest man in Presec. So the excitement is there. It has been there. Just that, you will not get everybody to be. It will surprise you on the days inter-house. You go to the classrooms, you find some students studying. Some even go to the stadium with their books.
But when you say it's exciting, because when we had the sixth form,
yes,
you realize that some people will come from other schools who are very good athletes and come and compete with the main school athletes, and that sometimes raised the rivalry and raised the it heightened that competitive nature of.
That's why I said every year and the kind of excitement that it brings. So this one, they've been together from Form 1 to 3, and they compete. So in the sixth form case, it's quite different. Let's say somebody went to Sector for 5 years and decided to come to sixth form at Presec. So with that background, Charlie, somebody has come. It's coming too. So that excitement is at a different level. But this one, we've been together from year 1 to year 3. And so we've known each other for long. So looking at that one, yes, at our level and the current state, we'll take it like that. We'll take it that, yes, there is some form of excitement because the conversation will be there, the arguments will be there, the challenge and the competition will be there. And so, yes, there's a form of excitement in it.
Okay. Walk us through your calendar.
Yes, so our calendar depends on what comes from the region. There's a national unit at the headquarters that draws a general calendar for the year for the school. So out of that, the regions will pick and then do theirs. So from the region, then we have the zonals also picking from the region. And so we currently are in zone 5, and we have about 9 schools in the zone. So we'll look at it where what we are supposed to do at a certain time. We had the last competition that we had was the one that we had in February. That was the athletics and then games at the same time. So now we are waiting for the super zonals, which will be in next month. Fortunately, there are few competitions events that we qualified to compete in the Super Zona 1. Then that one will climax the regional competition. Then from there, we move into the national festival, which will be somewhere in August or September at Takrady, to end the academic year.
But don't you have, like, for instance, if I remember well, we used to do table tennis and hockey like the first term. In second term, we do athletics. Then third term, we do football. Yeah.
So currently we run 2 semesters.
Okay.
So almost all the schools complain of funding.
Okay.
So funds. So if you separate it, it becomes double budget.
Okay.
So we try to put everything together. So athletics and then games. We do with that and then we are done.
Okay.
But previously we're having games in November, December.
Okay.
Then we'll have athletics in February, March. Then we'll have the Super Zona in somewhere in July.
Okay.
Okay, so that we'll finish that one for the academic year. But now things have changed. So we do both at a time.
Wow.
So as we speak now, we will have our inter-school competition for the next academic year somewhere in February.
Okay.
So we are planning to have our inter-house somewhere in September. By then, we'll have the Form 1s and the Form 2s in school.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What are the disciplines that are done when you say games? What are the disciplines?
Okay. At the school federation, we play soccer, basketball, table tennis, handball, volleyball, where we have male and female, we have netball.
Okay.
Then we have badminton. Fencing has been introduced, but it is on invitational base.
Okay.
Then hockey is also invitational. Yes. So these are
the main ones.
the main ones.
Somebody told me that they've started introducing rugby and cricket.
Yes. Just last week, they were in the school. They came
Okay.
to have a conversation with management, and we started it somewhere in 2012, but we couldn't continue with it. There was some break, but now they are back, and so we're going to have it at the school level. At the school level, in July we'll start rolling it out in the school. We already have some few equipment in place. They will also come and then add up, and then we'll have it.
You didn't mention table tennis.
I mentioned table
Mentioned
tennis.
table tennis.
Yes.
But you see, I find it strange that in the private schools now, where they have their own athletic domes and stuff, they are doing things like swimming.
Yes.
They are playing lawn tennis.
Yes.
They are doing certain sports that it's not the public schools are not doing.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. The public schools basically is government funded. If you see any school with that, then maybe there's a private person or a sponsored something in the school. Presec, we don't have swimming pool, but I will tell you that in 2012 we won a swimming competition.
Hey, how? The guy stayed near the river or sea.
Yeah.
Like by Osino Pleasure Beach.
Yeah. So you see, as I told you, we have talents.
Yeah.
So even though we don't do it, last year or two we had some national swimming athletes in the school.
Oh, okay.
And we gave them permissions. Sometimes they go to Legon and then they go and then practice. Okay. We also have chess team who are also doing well. I think last year or two, some went outside the country to compete. So if we should get all this, yes, it will help. But looking at the federation, these are the things that is approved currently for us to do, the games and then the athletics. I know as time goes on, swimming will come in, but you know, it's a facility that is not that does not come easily. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so let me ask this. When you look at the whole, you know, what sports would you say students are most keen on or interested in?
I would say soccer and basketball.
Basketball.
Yes.
Okay.
Soccer and basketball.
And
If
why do you think
you
it's
talk
so?
about games, then it's soccer and basketball.
Why do you think it's so?
Soccer is so because it's a national thing. Basketball is a community on its own. Basketball is a community on its own, and if you go down, they will tell you that it's for the Dada bees.
Okay, yeah.
It's for the Dada bees, and so with Presec, basketball is up.
It's more funky. I mean, and then also they follow the stars outside.
Outside.
So, you know, it's more like something that
Yes.
people want to do.
Yeah,
you know.
and they watch it a lot.
Lots, yeah.
They watch it a lot.
I see. Yeah. So do you? I mean, obviously, you still organize inter houses.
Yes, we do.
So
organize
how do you
that.
go about it? I mean, how do you? I mean, in your own words, you are saying that Presec in recent times, and I'm quoting you, has chalked some successes during your time as a sports master. In what disciplines can you tell us some of your sports winnings? I mean, like enumerate the achievements, the awards, trophies, which you have won.
Yeah. So I'll talk about basketball.
Yeah.
Over 10 years, Presec has been dominating in the zone and in the region.
Okay. And what makes up the zone? What are the schools and?
For our zone we have Achimota, we have Was, we have Ganata, we have Frafraha Day Community, we have Kwabenya, we have St. John's, we have Amasaman, we have Ajienkutuku, we have one other school beyond Ajienkutuku. Okay. So these schools form the zone. Then, so Greater Accra is divided into 6 zones. Okay. So there are other zones. Okay. Yes. We've also been successful in handball. I would say for some years now it has gone down, but we're on top. We've even been regional champions twice. Okay. Table tennis, yes, we are there almost every year. We are in the first 3 in table tennis. Volleyball has not been all that good. It's either first 3 or first 4. Yeah, we are there.
What about hockey?
Hockey, always we are there. Always we are there. They normally, most of the schools don't play hockey, so it's invitational. Okay. So Accra here we have Ebenezer secondary school, we have Achimota, and then Presec. Okay. This year we went, Ebenezer couldn't come, so it was Achimota too couldn't come, so it was Presec, and then the other schools. The challenge is that we don't have the pitch here. So we train at a small place, and so when we go out, it becomes a bit challenging. And also the pitch over there, the national hockey pitch is a water-based AstroTurf. Here too we play on
but no, it shouldn't make a difference because
it makes.
No, I know it makes a difference, but I'm saying that over the years when we used to do sports, I mean, all our thing was on raw surface.
Okay.
You know, so when you go out to the tartan tracks, for example, there's a huge change, but we cope.
Yeah, we cope. But you see, it is not everywhere that it works. Okay. The dynamics are not the same. Okay. The water-based AstroTurf, there are different kinds. There is water-based. Now, water-based because they want the ball to run faster.
Yeah.
Over here, in the sand, the ball will not run that fast for you. So when you get there, either you get tired early or you have to run and all that. So the dynamics are not the same.
I understand.
In athletics too, for so many years now, there is one event that when you mention, Presec is mentioned.
What event is that?
That is 4x100.
Wow.
Yes, 4x100.
Okay.
Even if we lose all the events,
not
4x100.
Wow.
Not that one. That one they know us for that.
Okay.
Okay,
that's good.
That's
good to hear.
When it comes to athletics, in the zone, we are always at the 3rd position. Okay. All the time, 3rd position.
What about football? Because football, there,
it's an issue. We've been zonal champions twice. One in 2012, and then the other one, I think in 2018 or 2019, we won in our zone. The challenge is that most of the schools that we play with are mostly day dominated.
Okay.
And where you have day dominated schools, you have most of their soccer teams being very good because most of them are into teams. So they play a lot.
But how do you do your selection? I mean, I know you do thousands and stuff, but how do you do your selection? You know.
Okay. We do have, sometimes we do get recommendations before maybe the child is admitted or they get into the school. Parents come and then tell you, oh, this my boy is in academy. Okay, so there we know that yes, he has the
academy or something.
Yeah,
okay.
so the background is good. Then we go into the interclass, and during PE lessons, we're able to identify few talents. Then we go into the interhouse. Interhouse, we do get a committee, a panel, or sort of something to pick the good ones from the interhouse. After all this, we put all of them together. Then we begin the training sessions. Okay. So as we move along, we start pruning to get the right size that we want. But all the same, it is about time also, because sometimes most of them are into classes and other things. So today they'll show up, tomorrow they will not show up. So all that affecting
the preparation. But what is the training regime like? I mean, so you've chosen somebody to come into a school team. What is the training like?
All right. So the training is after school.
Which is what time?
Which is after, let's say, by 4 o'clock they are there.
Okay.
4 o'clock they are there. 5:30 they have to go for dining, and so you just have about 1 hour
to train.
Wow. Just have an hour to train. So
do they still give them a special diet? Because that was one of the things that motivated students to go into sports.
Sure.
We still getting special diet
and all that. This time it's not there.
There's nothing like special diet. So a student has to eat on his own to be able to come and train. Hey.
Yes.
If to be an athlete is not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
So it is only when the competition
passion.
time.
Okay.
That something special is prepared for them.
Okay.
But in those days at the dining hall, we have sports table where sports boys always they are placed on that table. Their diet is different and all that, where it motivates others also to do well and then be part of it. So by this time, it is not like that. Things are not.
So we touch on the coaching aspect of it.
Yes.
And you explained that most of the people are instructors, they are teachers, they are not coaches. When you come to specifics, like maybe the technicalities, do you sometimes bring in coaches to train your school team? Are you able to go and bring
yes
from outside?
Yes. Currently, our basketball team is managed by somebody who is not a PE person.
Okay.
And then he's not even, one of them too is not even a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, who comes from outside to handle them.
Okay.
With the basketball, we've had that experience. For some time ago, it was one Odadee Ato who was handling them, and then he left, and then these people are in. With soccer, we've once had an Odadee Kwesi or so, who had a team that was, so when we were getting ready for inter-school, he came and then partnered with the PE teacher who was coaching them, and then train the boys. So where our expertise or where our knowledge is not that high, we talk to people who have the school at heart to come in and then help one way or the other.
That's interesting, because I was going to ask you about how we could use the alumni to mentor some of the athletes, and so that's a good example you're giving me already.
Yes.
Do you recollect? Okay, so let me deal with this one first. We talked about the time.
Yes.
For example, that there's not enough time.
Yes.
For athletes to train and prepare, that sort of thing. Has that affected, like the school teams in particular? Has it affected them?
Well, of course, yes. But I will say that it's like that everywhere. Okay, so we make use of what we have. So yes, the time is not enough anyway, but we manage with it. we manage it and get the best out of it.
Can you recollect any like student who has performed as a top athlete in any of the disciplines? And I mean, during your time as sports master, I think you mentioned a few though, but who have stuck in your mind and have gone on to perform at greater levels?
Yes.
I know you mentioned Azamati, but
Azamati, like I mentioned, there is the name is Ayima. Okay, who is outside. He's in Europe, and over there he played for his college, and now he's doing well.
Played what?
Sport? Soccer. Okay. Yeah. There's one gentleman, Esibe, who was a soccer player, and now he's a player agent. Okay. There's one also who had chance to be with the under 17 years back, I think 2014, 2013 thereabout, but couldn't progress. We've lost contact. There are few others who are doing well, but just that they are not in the open for us to
some don't compete on the circuit, so we don't really know them. But is it? I don't know. Do we actually sort of encourage our students to take sports as an option, as a career, not just in terms of competition, but like as I said, somebody is now an agent. Somebody can end up becoming a coach or even like a medical doctor who is in sports. I mean, do we encourage?
We do. We
don't see students, trying to.
We do.
Even as a business.
But the thing is that, the students doing sports in Presec, back home, the expectation of the parents
it's not that.
Yeah. And so most of them would go into some other profession, other field. Okay. There's one guy that I saw on my Facebook. I recently asked him, "Are you still into athletics?" So say I stopped long ago. Hey, you are very good in 400 meters.
Yeah.
And look at where Azamati is now. Could have so said, see, parents and this. So that going out, there are challenges. The expectation of parents and you yourself, what you want to also be.
Yeah.
So if it is not something that you want to do, but no also, matter what we tell you.
I think also is because you see a lot of people don't even know of the avenues that sports offer as a career option. A lot of people don't know.
But one thing is that it's part of our
the career day thing that you
do. The pathway of physical education. Okay. So we teach it, and we make available. We show them the various chances or careers that can come out of being a sports person. All right. There was a time at Kumasi Asante Kotoko had a doctor, a medical doctor, Dr. Dadibo, was playing for Asante Kotoko. Yeah. At the same time, practicing his medicine. So we tell them all of this, but it still depends on the individual.
I think until quite recently, where we started seeing physical instructors like at gyms, where normal people who didn't even go to school are now becoming physical. People didn't even see it as an option to train
as a
and
profession.
And then they started Mr. Muscle and all that. So people are now beginning to see some of the opportunities that you can get. But even in business, there are people who are beginning to do a lot of business in sports.
Yeah, there's sports business. There's sports administration, and
even in terms of selling the equipment and the drugs and the training materials and stuff. So
there are so many branches.
Yes, the options for career options are many. What about day students? Do they get a chance to participate?
Yes. Currently, we have a day house
Day house.
Yes.
I mean, they built a house for day students.
No, not that they built a house for them, but
Okay.
as a group.
Okay.
As
Oh,
a
so
group.
they've organized themselves as a day house. And they compete
They
from that house.
compete. They
Got it.
compete.
Got it.
Yeah. So yes, they have the chance. Previously, we affiliated them,
Okay.
and so those who were very good, the houses
Okay.
pushed
They
them
were giving, obviously, when you come into the school, they automatically put you in a particular
in a
house.
particular house.
But now the day students have their own.
They have their
Okay.
own
That's an interesting
house
thing.
masters. Have their
So they
own-
call it day house.
Yeah, we call it day house.
Okay. Okay, let's come to facilities.
Right.
Of the school.
Mm.
It's an important area I want us to talk about. What facilities does the school have presently, and how are these facilities maintained?
Okay. Presently, we have the soccer field. We have
The one we all know,
yes,
what we call the school field.
the school field.
Okay.
We have that one. We have basketball courts.
Okay.
We have a place for handball.
Okay.
We have a place for volleyball.
So is this the school field?
So this is for athletics. This is for long jump and triple jump.
So these are long jump. Hey!
Yes. So this is
Oh, Charlie.
this is the runway.
Ooh.
We have the
Ooh.
landing pits. It's made up of beach sand.
Okay.
Yeah, we specially we bought it.
Yeah, but aren't they supposed to mark it with some, so it's demarcated properly? So it just looks like they dumped it then and just spread it out.
No, it's not damped there. Just that the place has become a bit weedy. But it's okay. But as you said, yes, we can construct the runway and then the landing pit. We add concrete to it. Yes. So this is the handball court.
All at the school field.
Yes, or at the same place.
Okay.
Yes, this is a handball court. And the handball court, in fact, when it rains, there is no activity because the water.
This one is elephant grass. It's not proper grass. It's all elephant grass.
Yes.
I thought at some point in time, some team came to develop the school field when they were going to do some national events.
Yes, and that was 2018.
Okay.
That is about 6 years ago.
Okay.
In fact, we spoke to an expert, and he's saying that at the moment, the school field needs a major rehabilitation. The topsoil would have to be taken off. So that is it. So that is the volleyball court. But looking at it, the plan that we have, if we should construct the athletic oval, it means that we have to move this from where it is, the landing pit. We have to move the volleyball court from where it is, and then take it the back of the handball court, getting closer to the wall of the filling station.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the basketball court, which was, I think, constructed by the 1979 year group. They are managing it.
Okay. They've done well. No, but
it needs one or two things additional.
I mean, you can even see that, even where they sit, the benches they sit on, if it's raining or whatever, or there's a drizzle, you can't actually sit there and watch.
Yeah.
And when I look at the school field, they don't have any sitting area where if they are playing football, people can sit and watch.
No. So this is the main field.
It looks nice though from
far.
From far.
There's more work to be done.
So do you have like mowers or you have to go and bring outside tractors to come and weed?
Currently we have a small mower.
Can a small mower weed this big field? To break down by the time it's done.
Exactly so. So after every session you have to go for servicing. Yeah. And the way the place is, we will need mower, we will need ride on.
Yeah, the one you sit on.
Yes, because we have elephant grass and the soil too is fertile.
Yeah,
so
within
within days,
it's coming up.
You have the grass coming up.
Wow.
Yes. So we will need a concrete volleyball court.
Okay.
A concrete handball court. we will need athletic over
Okay.
400 meters.
Okay.
Currently, we do it on the school field, 200 meters over,
Okay.
which sometimes gets the athletes confused when we go to the main track. Because the 200 over, if you are doing 400 meters, it means you have to go twice.
Twice, yes.
But the main one, you go once. And so they will accept me. So sometimes they get confused.
Yeah.
Because if you are running on a 200 meter over, the dynamics are not the same as a 400 meter over.
Usually, they do that for indoors.
Indoors.
You know, because the place is smaller indoors.
Yeah.
You go twice.
Yeah.
You know.
So it is something that we have to look in developing the place. Yeah.
Wow. But doesn't the school have a gym?
A gym.
Because when I was asking about how you prepare athletes, usually, you know, you go to the gym, you lift some weights, you stand on a treadmill, you run, you do certain things in the gym.
Yeah.
You know.
We have all these equipments in place, but the issue is where to mount them. Initially, when the equipments were brought, we put them in the changing rooms where our office is, and that facility has a lot of stakeholders. You know, is the ministry, and then also the FA and all that. And so when we put the gym equipment in there in 2018, we had to move them out because the place was going to be used as a training pitch for the women AFCON. So we moved them out. Now, after the competition, Ghana won the bid to host the African Games. Yeah. And we knew definitely that they will come back. And so remounting them was a bit undeciding. Okay. Then they came that yes, in fact, they will use the place. So we even packed out, even as an office. Then last minute we were told that they were not coming to renovate the place. Oh. And so we have to bring the things back.
You know, Ghana just won the bid for
2026 athletics. But that one, definitely they will use Legon. Okay. The 91 or 92 year group, one of them, I think 91, they were sponsoring we had a soccer league, and they were the main sponsors. Okay. Yeah, every year. It was running until the COVID came in, and we started with the free SHS thing. Okay. Yeah. They started with putting up a gym, a building. And the idea was that when it was ready, we'll move the equipment there, and then they will augment what we have. Okay. And then use it so that students could use it, and then also they make it commercial. But the project has stalled, and we don't know when it will be completed.
Okay, quickly run me through some of the problems or the challenges, specific challenges that faces the sports departments, just in case if somebody wanted to come and offer to help you. You know, what exactly are some of your needs?
Okay. So when it comes to facilities, I said the first thing is about the athletic over, that we need it in place. Then also we need the concrete courts in place. Then we talk about the supplies, the footballs, the jerseys, the other equipment, running shoes, football boots, and all that. You know, with the balls, it is just, when you buy a ball today, tomorrow you cannot use it. So a ball is just for a season. Okay. So these things are supplied all the time. Yeah. All the time. Okay.
So when you take the different disciplines, everybody has its needs. So if it is soccer, you have the football boots,
the jerseys,
the gloves, the nets, and all those. And then it becomes athletics. Talk about the spikes, jerseys, and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then you even mentioned that like hockey, you didn't have
Yeah,
You
in your days, you had a hockey pitch.
Yes.
Yes.
And we had hockey sticks and the
Shin
shin guards
guard
and all that.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today we don't have the hockey pitch because the field was centered, so that one was so we don't have the hockey pitch, but we do have, because we participate all the time, we do get some donors bringing in some sticks and some balls.
But we have space to do a hockey pitch, right?
Yes.
We have the space.
Yes, the space is there.
At the same place.
The same place.
Okay.
The same place.
It's very interesting that we we are running out of time, so I want to quickly go
All
through
right.
some things. One of the biggest questions I wanted to ask was, where do we keep our winning trophies?
Right. That is Hall of Fame.
Yes.
We don't have a specific room where we say that this is our Hall of Fame, and so every trophy we keep it there.
Okay.
Most of the trophies are in the headmaster's office. I think some were moved to the boardroom and other places. So we don't have a particular room where we say that this place is where we keep our trophies. We also keep some in our office.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. What about your records?
Records, I did not come to meet any record documents.
Really?
Yes. The office used to be in the old assembly hall, at a small room at the back there.
That was the sports prefect's room.
Yes. So when we came, this facility had been built.
Okay.
And so we occupied it. And I don't know how the things were moved to the place.
Okay.
And so we will get files and we'll see all these records in them. No.
So if somebody is to run 100 meters race today, how do you compare to the school record that existed 20, 30 years ago? How do you...
Yes, that has been a challenge. For some years now, we have started keeping the record because of technology. Yes, we type and then we keep it. So, but to declare that this person has broken a record, because we don't have the old one,
You can't do that.
we can't do that. I have spoken to few senior colleagues, and the advice is that we need to start from somewhere.
Hey, so what my record that is here, we don't have it. Hey, I have a record here.
Just last week at Legon, a record that was set in 1967 was broken.
Oh.
Okay, so it could have been nice to have all these things in place so that you could compare.
Yeah. Even for the record that this person maybe won this year's 100 meters in maybe 1972. This is his name. That sort of thing. It should be there.
Yeah.
We are not even yet talking about the Hall of Fame where people's, in 100 meters this year, this is the person who won or he keeps the record for this. It's a shame. Yeah. We should be looking at something like that.
And it's possible that we can do. There is a way if we can talk to the old boys who were sports boys by then, if they have any document of such nature, they could.
I know some of my year group, they're going to do fake documents. They're going to do fake. Because some people claim that they didn't run in Presec, but they went to run at some other level, which we never saw them. But I don't want to mention it, but they know themselves. Hey, they claim that they were, sprinters doing some events and winning. Well, when they were here, we never saw them on the track. So I know my boys.
Okay. But of course, if we, I believe that if we talk about it, we'll get some people who bring in some of these things. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think we honor our athletes well, like even presently?
Presently, I would say that yes, at a level.
Okay.
What we do is that when we go for competitions and then we come back, we showcase them with their certificates, with their medals, and in the presence of the whole school. And I think it's helping. It's a good way of acknowledging their efforts.
I feel that, you know, for example, when the boys win like the national science and maths quiz, we sort of treat them and make them, you know, it's and then you train every day, you go and do sports, you win, and then they just push you somewhere.
Yeah,
I think that the disparity is.
You know, Mr. Odadee, when he came in, any time that we went, those who win medals and other things, he has a way of hosting them, appreciating their efforts. Yeah.
Would you say that generally Presec sports has grown? Has it evolved, improved?
There's more room for improvement.
Okay. Because I look at it from in terms of even the population, the time we allow for sports and so on. You know, is it getting better? Is it getting, you know?
Yeah. You know, the pressure from the academic field. It's a factor.
There.
Yeah, it's a factor, and so you cannot get all the time to look at sports.
Okay.
So, but the little one that we get, we are able to manage with it.
What is your fondest memory of you as your time as sports master here? And what would you say is your proudest achievement and the legacy you'll be leaving us, you know, head of Presec Sports?
Fondest memory, I would say the first time that
fondest and proudest. That's what I mean.
Okay. The first time that we won regional handball, it was nice. It was nice. Then again, in 2018, no, 2014 or something, one of the Gusa games, the whole team of University of Science and Technology handball team, the first 7 players, from Presec.
Wow.
Yes, from Presec. Then can talk about Azamati. Can talk about him. That every platform that I get, I mean, what is so fulfilling that you are able to, bring somebody up, and that person also appreciates the kind of work that you did for him. It's so fulfilling.
Yeah, well, I think he mentioned this, at that time I didn't know you, but he mentioned the name of the sports teacher in Presec when they interviewed him. Yeah.
So when you hear that and you read about that, it's
okay.
Then again, I think in 2019 or so, I judged as at the secondary school level the best handball coach development and all that. So
that's cool.
Yeah, a few of them. Yeah.
So what's your legacy for as head of Presec Sports? What would the legacy you have left when you go mention your name? Because we will mention BT, mention Boy Badu, the things what would they mention about you?
Currently, I would say my prayer is to have the athletic over.
Okay.
Is to have the athletic over, and it will be a big.
But it's not there, so it will not be your legacy.
Yes.
What is your legacy?
Well, legacy, it cut across. You have sectors talking about me.
Okay.
So you have the handball group community talking about me.
Okay.
You have the basketball team talking about. So in sports, it will depend on the year groups.
Okay.
It will depend on the year groups. But if it is something that you want to talk that, okay, we see this thing and it's about you, then I've not gotten there yet.
Okay.
Yes, I want to be honest.
Okay. Well, it's not always the physical, but it could be something, because even some in fact, one of the things I forgot to ask is, what is our cheer group like now in Presec? Do we have a team? Because that was one of our big things. So, as sportsmen, when we went out, it was the cheering. The team that went to cheer us was one of the biggest things.
We are reviving it.
There were just songs.
We are reviving it. Yes. At a point in time, it wasn't there. I mean, they will go to the stadium and
it's quiet.
Boys,
we are not known for that.
Yeah, we are not known for that. Cry.
Oh, Charlie.
Quiet.
Wow.
When others are making the noise, quiet. But few years back, there has been Jama group.
Okay. Coming up.
Yes.
There are some old students who are very, very good at that. We can recruit some of them to come and train them.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so last question. What is your view on sports betting?
Wow.
And how it has influenced? Is it in our school? Is it here?
Sports betting.
I know students are not supposed to have phones, but we know they do.
Yes, it is something very difficult to talk about.
Okay.
Yes, because one or two operations that we've done outside the school. I mean, you know boys.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
And that. So they find a way of doing it.
Okay.
They find a way of doing it. And I think it is something that is not helping.
Okay.
It's not helping. Few people have spoken about it. Others too have defended it.
Yes, so I'm looking at the pros and cons, because some school of thought thinks that the betting has generated interest in sports. People watching the game, but like following the game. Whilst people see the other side of it, where the betting aspect, the monetary and the how do you call it, the gambling aspect has been talked about.
Yeah.
And for a school, let's say like Presec, that is a Presbyterian school, we look heavily at the gambling aspect of it. But in terms of how it has influenced how people follow sports, do you think it has increased the hunger for sports participation?
Oh yes, because if you bet, you follow. If you put your money in, you definitely want to see.
I haven't done it before, but I love sports. I mean, at time we didn't have the opportunity to bet. So I'm looking at what it is now for the younger generation.
Yeah, and in a way, it's the negative aspects. Even Greater Accra.
Yeah.
We couldn't finish all the zones having their sport because of student hooliganism and all that.
Okay.
And some of them are generated by this betting and other things. Yeah. So it may have its positive aspect of increasing the followers of sports, all right. But the negative aspect is more damning.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I mean, you could see blood all over the place.
Wow.
And the fights here and there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to any young person or young Odadee listening, especially those who have the talent and inclination for sports? What would you tell them?
I would advise them to follow their dreams, their talents. The book can take you to a certain point. The talent too can take you. If you're able to combine the two, you are blessed. Yeah. The talent and then the book. So the young ones shouldn't hide their talents. They should come up. They should open up and show their talents. Okay. The fortunate thing is that Presec, we are very positive. We are open to any healthy sports that any child who wants to do it. We find a way of helping for you to get it. At a point in time, we even give permission to some students to go to University of Ghana to train. They are tennis players.
Okay.
And we don't have the court here.
Okay.
So weekends, they go there and then go and train. So if you have any talent, show up.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good to hear. And what would you say to the old boys, the alumni? And pass that their sportsmen in particular on how they can participate or help students or mentorship.
To the alumni, first I have to appreciate them for what they've been doing for us so far. The 79-year group, the 2000 and 2001, 2002. I mean, some year groups, they have come to support us in one way or the other, and we are calling for more because there is more to be done at this sports side of the school. The old athletes too, we have few of them coming back to support us. Professor Andrew Usu,
the former
long jumper,
okay.
Yes.
Wow.
The national, yes. He came, brought us some running shoes and stopwatches and other things. So Ezekiel also came around, yes. And so there are quite a number of them outside, and we are looking forward to hear from them to come and support us.
Okay.
Yes,
That's nice.
we are ready to work.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, any shout out to any of your working colleagues or?
Yes, I want to say we shout out to my colleagues at the department, Sir Gideon, Sir Ray, Madam Mavis, Sir Banasco, our former head of department, Kofi Yesu.
Okay.
Yes, and the sports committee, assistant domestic, assistant administration, academics, the headmaster himself, and then the matron.
Okay.
Yes, the matron. I mean, the school drivers.
Okay.
They are always
all part of the
they are all part. Yes,
Fantastic,
they are all part.
fantastic.
Yes.
Well, on behalf of Odadee Radio and all Odadees, we thank you for taking your time to come and join us to talk about sports in Presec.
Yes.
We appreciate you for your insights and experience,
Thank you.
and we pray that you continue to train our athletes and impact our students, so that they will continue to win laurels for the school and make us all proud.
Thank you very much.
Listeners, we have been talking to the head of the physical education unit of our school, Mr. Nathaniel Mateboche, a trained sports educationist by profession. And we'll be talking about his role as a sports master in Presec, how he sees the progress of sports in the school. And I believe he has given us some good insights. It's been an absolute pleasure having him in our studio. Thank you for tuning in. I was assisted in the studio by our resident technical manager, Joseph Otu. Thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Odadee Sports Digest. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This is your host, Johnny Adufeni. Enjoy your week.
Watani.